canceled. Like
What joke?
the left always tries to cancel like comedians. Like what's his what's the he hasn't been on in a long
What
ass
joke do you
time.
want to try to make?
I'm using an example. Okay,
Okay,
another
like give me an
example.
example of a joke that you wouldn't want to get canceled for.
Well, what did Dave Chappelle get canceled for?
I don't know. I don't follow Dave Chappelle. Now, what kind of joke do you want to be able to tell that you don't want to get canceled for?
I mean, I don't want to like. I also don't know if I can even say it on here, but it's nothing like fucking crazy. I don't know what.
Censor it. Tell us what you want to be able to say that the left would cancel you for that has made you support Trump. Give us an example.
Okay, this is a prime one. I didn't know, and I would say most people my age don't know what the fuck a cis male is. What the fuck is that? A cis male. Why can't you just say, you know what? It's a dude that's transitioning to a girl that likes to wear girls' clothes.
What's your birthday?
To me, what?
What's your birthday?
March 1995. I don't know why people keep spamming. He's not 30. I'm
Because you
swearing
sound
my
young
life.
and you're like saying unintelligent shit.
Okay, so am I good to keep going?
So you put a fascist in the Oval Office that is actively making this country worse, taking healthcare away from millions, food stamps away from millions, food away from millions of school students, reducing the purchasing power of the working class.
What does this have anything to do with being woke?
We're going to get there.
It does.
Will you
You're
listen
just
to me?
rambling.
I'm not rambling. I'm attempting to
Okay,
make a point.
go on.
So you put a fascist who's been held liable for rape in the Oval Office that has now taken healthcare away from millions, food stamps away from millions, free school student lunches away from millions, and has reduced the purchasing power of hundreds of millions, all because you don't like that people on the left uphold classifications of cis and trans? What?
Am I able to speak now? I didn't know.
Yeah. No, please
Okay.
do
Yeah,
speak.
I mean, yeah,
what
that's.
kind of argument is that?
I just think shit's like gone a little too far. Like me saying to my friend, "Hey, don't do that." Like, it'd be gay if you do that, and people are like, "Oh my god, don't say that," or making not making fun of someone.
Yeah, using
for
gay
being-
as a derogatory term. That's not new. That's been bad. You understand that there was ad campaigns that were running in the 90s? The don't say gay ad campaigns? All right, that's because we shouldn't be using aspects of people's identities to denote something being derogatory. Think about it this way, right? What are you wearing right now?
What?
What are you wearing? Okay, all right. There's a reason for this question. Okay.
A t-shirt and my sweatpants.
Okay.
Flies,
Okay. Like
bro.
what color? What color
Gray.
shirt? What color sweatpants?
Okay, we're not. Can we not do these like hypothetical type of questions that you're gonna do? Like you're gonna.
Bro, I'm just
turn it into,
no.
You know
no,
what
no.
you're doing.
Okay, no. Answer the question. What color shirt? What color sweatpants?
Okay, gray and blue.
Yeah. Okay. So imagine if I was like, "Oh, dude,
Oh my God.
what? You just cheated on your girlfriend? That's so. What's your name?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say because I'm scared of your fucking mob.
Okay, I'm gonna call you Cody.
Okay.
All right. So imagine that like my friend just cheated on his girlfriend, and I walked
Dude,
up to
come
him,
on, bro.
and then I said, "Dude, you cheated on your girlfriend? Really? That's so Cody wearing gray shirt and blue sweatpants."
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, I thought it was kind of incoherent, but it just simply denoted the idea that we shouldn't be using people's identities to like denote like derogatoriness.
I agree. So why does
imagine that like somebody commits a violent crime and you want to like detail like how what they did was wrong with use of a derogatory remark, saying, "Oh, you just committed this violent crime, bro." That's so black.
These are just insane.
That's so black. You know what I mean? Like, do you agree with that? Do you think the individual should be able to say that? Is that acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, I think like in times that could be funny. And you're lying if not you. I know for a fact you have probably said something like that. I mean, you've definitely said something like that in the past, and you've definitely thought it was funny.
All right. So no, I don't think that's funny. So let's try this.
I mean, that's like lighthearted.
Okay.
I'm not like.
So how do you feel when women will look at something bad that has happened to them in their life, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, this was caused by men. Men suck."
What? What are you even
How do
talking
you feel
about?
about that? Something bad happens to a woman and she's like, men. Right? A woman gets her croissant 2
Well, I mean,
minutes
there's
late from
tons
a
of girls like that.
Starbucks,
They're just
and then she's like, men. Yeah, a woman is cut off on her way to work, and she's like, white men. Yeah, yeah. A woman is catcalled on the street, white men. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Is that funny?
Am I good to talk now?
Yeah, is that funny? You like
I
that?
mean, that doesn't offend me because I know that I'm not like that. And also, any girl that is saying that, you can tell that she's just like a hateful girl.
Oh, gotcha. So if
She
you use the
is
term,
like
so
those type of girls are.
if you use the term gay to denote something that's wrong or derogatory, it's funny. If you use like the term
It
black to
is.
denote something that's wrong, it's funny. But if
It
you use
is.
the term man to denote something that's wrong, it's hateful.
No, I'm just saying. Usually they are. Usually those are the type of girls that they're single.
Oh, so do you
They
see
have a couple of
do you
cats.
see do you
They
see
like
like do you
arts.
see do you see the big problem there?
No, I don't see a problem at all. I
The,
don't
the,
care
the
if
problem is the apparent contradiction, right? The apparent contradiction being that if you stereotype men is derogatory, it's hateful. But if you stereotype black people or gay people as derogatory, it's funny.
so if we make a joke about a black person or a gay person, that's just crossing the line completely, and them people saying, "Oh, I don't want to walk on this side of the street because of this white dude, like f this white guy." Like, what does that have anything to do with like wokeness? I don't understand that.
It's
Really don't understand.
like a derogatory remark because if we were to change out gay for something that's true of you, such as being a white man, all of a sudden it's hateful. So how do you think gay people would feel about gay being used as a derogatory remark?
I mean, I shouldn't have even used hateful. Honestly, I don't give a shit that like if a girl really thinks that, I mean, that's on them,
Oh,
right? It's like,
but it's still not funny. It's still not comedy.
oh, I mean, I would still think. I mean, I would still, depending on who said it and how they said it, I would take it comedically.
But
Yeah.
I just want to clarify. Like this is what got you to vote for fascists?
Well, I mean, I was kind of going down the list, but you were, you
Like,
went on a ramble
do
and
you
shit.
actually care about making the country better? Like, I have a question.
Of course, that's why
What do
I
you
voted for
care?
Trump,
What
bro.
do you care about more? Like preserving and protecting the backbone of this nation, the U.S. Constitution, or like owning the libs?
S- So me thinking the country is going too far with it being woke, that's that's going against the backbone of the
I
country.
don't know why you're drawing implications out from a question.
Oh,
It
okay,
wasn't a statement. It
repeat it
was a
again. I'm
question.
sorry.
What do you care about more? Preserving and protecting the backbone of this country, the American
Yes,
Constitution,
that.
or owning the
Yes,
libs?
the first one.
Okay, all right. So if it is the case that Donald Trump was a threat to the Constitution,
In your
you
opinion.
still don't support it. You want to
In your
support.
opinion.
Can you let me finish, Cody?
Yeah.
So if it was the case that Donald Trump was a threat to the Constitution, you still wouldn't support him even if wokeness has gone too far, right?
I don't even understand that.
That was simple. I'll repeat it. So if it was true that Donald Trump was a threat to the Constitution,
Yes.
you would not support him even if you think that wokeness has gone too far, since you care more about preserving the Constitution than owning the libs.
Yeah, I don't care about owning the libs.
Okay, all right. So in other words, if I could prove to you that Donald Trump was a threat to the Constitution, you'd stop supporting him, right?
If you prove to me that Donald Trump is a threat to the Constitution, then what? Like, what does this have to do with the wokeness? This has nothing to do with it.
Well, it's just demonstrating to you that there would be overriding concerns that are more important to you.
You see, you're deflecting now, like the guy previously.
I'm not deflecting. We're debating if you still support Trump or not. And the argument tactic that I am attempting to follow here is
Okay,
just
yeah, I
demonstrate
mean, you're gonna tell
that
me
there's
anyway. So
overriding
go ahead.
concerns that are more important to you, right? Like, that's not a
There's
deflection,
overriding
because
concern.
at the end of the day, it's like I'm still demonstrating to you why you shouldn't support Trump. I'm just choosing a way in which I think would be more effective / more productive. Obviously, I was able to walk you down to a conclusion as it related to the quote-unquote wokeness, where you think it's funny to joke about gay people or black people being bad, but it's not funny and hateful to joke about white people being bad, right? So, like, that should have been the end of that conversation. Like, realistically, right, the contradiction within your view was clear. You said women that make men bad are hateful, but men who make gay people bad are funny, right? Like, that should have been the natural end of that debate. That was a contradiction, right? So, like, but you didn't concede there. You still believed in what you believed in. So it seems like that is not a productive line of dialogue. So now I'm trying to seek a productive line of dialogue here. And you're calling me a pivoter for just wanting to have a productive convo, right? So anyways, you agreed that protecting the Constitution is more important than owning the libs. So if Donald Trump was a threat to the Constitution, would you still support him?
No.
Okay. All right. Would you agree that Donald Trump was a threat to the Constitution if before running for office he called for the termination of the Constitution? I haven't even finished the question yet. Why are you already answering no? Shut the fuck up. Thank you. So would you agree that Donald Trump would be a threat to the Constitution if before running for the office he called for the termination of the Constitution, then after winning the office on Inauguration Day, signing an executive order into law that clearly and explicitly contradicted personal liberties and protections offered under the Constitution?
Am I good to answer now?
Yeah.
So this is a hypothetical question?
Yeah, it's an if-then. If he did these things,
So then
would
there's
you
no
agree that
point
he
of
would
asking him
the
because he's
Constitution?
already won. He didn't do that, so it's irrelevant.
So the question is, if he did, would you agree hypothetically he would be a threat to the Constitution?
Well, it's a hypothetical, so I'm not like, why would you answer a hypothetical?
Because hypotheticals are incredibly conceptually relevant towards the debate. Like, I'll give you an example.
No, you're gonna use the hypothetical to twist it into some like gotcha moment. Like, bro, like,
Okay.
this
So
is
in
what
other words,
like
you're telling me that you don't
younger
answer the
people
question because
do.
you're scared
That's
of
what
losing
you
the
do.
debate?
Say that again.
So in other words, you're telling me that you don't answer the question because you're scared that I might be able to use it to demonstrate why you're in the wrong. Okay, don't be scared of being wrong. Being wrong isn't the end point. Being wrong is the beginning point of a whole new world of exploring possibilities of truth, right? So be good faith. Stop being
So I'll
lazy,
be wrong in
answer
your
the question.
eyes, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this so I can be wrong in
Just
your
give an
eyes.
answer. If Donald Trump called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles found in the Constitution, then his first day in office, he passed an executive order that explicitly contradicted the Constitution and threatened the personal rights and liberties of people in this country, would you agree that he would thereby be a threat to the Constitution?
What people?
People in which rights are guaranteed unto.
So are we talking like citizens?
Anybody that qualifies for constitutional protections.
But are we talking about citizens of the United States?
We're talking about people that qualify for constitutional protections. What is hard about you attempting to understand this statement when
I'm
referencing
just asking a
conversation
question.
about being a threat
Is
to the
that wrong?
Constitution?
Can I not? Is it wrong for me to just ask? Is this specifically to citizens?
I fail to see the relevance. What's the relevance? Are you saying that you care about constitutional protections for citizens, but you don't care about constitutional protections for non-citizens?
I mean, yeah, like I'm not going to sit here and say I care about people like that don't live in America. Like I'd rather us be safe over some other country being safe. Like I don't give a shit about.
So you don't care about constitutional protections for non-citizens. All right. So you're
Correct.
pro-choice all 9 months in all 50 states since you become a citizen at birth. And because a fetus is not a citizen before birth, and you don't care about constitutional protections for non-citizens, then you don't think that fetuses have constitutional protections. And because constitutional protections are the highest law of the land, this would also imply that you don't think they have federal, state, or local protections, which means that you don't think they have or deserve the legal right to life in all 50 states at any point before they're a citizen.
What are you rambling on? Holy shit! You are crazy. You're going manic.
I'm going manic because I'm able to dispute the issues in your line of reasoning. I think I had another Trump supporter earlier call me mentally ill because I just described that the Constitution would supersede state, federal, local law. It is quite the projection and cope.
I mean, I'm not like coming up here to like disrespect you. I would never like say you.
No, that's what you just did. That's what you just did.
No,
You
like,
just called
I mean, when
you
I
just called
say,
me
like,
manic
you're-
in response to me demonstrating to you why your line of reasoning here is wrong. Now, let me ask you another question. Do you think that the Constitution only guarantees rights to citizens?
Well, if I'm thinking of the Constitution, I'm thinking of citizens of the U.S. Yeah, is that wrong? Is that wrong for me?
Yeah, it
Is
is.
that, it's wrong. Okay, but it's wrong in your eyes
No, it's wrong
because
in the eyes of the Constitution itself.
No, no, no. It is
You-
wrong in your eyes.
So you're saying if we were to like read the Constitution, you think it'd be clear that these rights are only available to citizens. So then, how come, like in the 14th Amendment, for instance, when it guarantees birthright citizenship, due process, and equal protections, it doesn't say all citizens; it says all persons. And how come we've had SCOTUS rulings incessantly since then to demonstrate that these rights are extended to non-citizens, such as when undocumented immigrants were able to win in Plyer v. Doe in SCOTUS in 1892 and 1982 to demonstrate that they do qualify for equal protections under the 14th Amendment?
I mean, you know the 14th Amendment better than me, so you got me there, man. You really did.
Right. So do we see how, like, your claim here that when we read the Constitution, it's clear that they're only extended to citizens and not extended to uncitizens is just like a take out of, like, I don't know, I'd assume bigotry and a lack of knowledge? Like, you've
So
obviously
me
never
saying
read
that
this.
I care about American citizens more than other citizens is a bad thing.
No, that's not the claim that you made. The claim that you made was that constitutional protections only extend to citizens, which is false.
No, I asked you that.
No, you did, and I said no. They also extend to non-citizens, and then you're like, "Oh, that's what you think." Then I was like, "No, that's what the Constitution says," and you're like, "No, that's not what the Constitution says."
Okay, so you've educated me on the Constitution. Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
now that we
you are
agree that
correct.
constitutional rights extend to non-citizens, back to my question: would you agree that Donald Trump would be a threat to the Constitution if he attempted to take away constitutional rights of those in which have them?
Do I think he's in the? You said, do I think he's in the wrong?
A threat.
A threat? No.
Okay, so if Biden passed an executive order saying that nobody in this country has the right to own any firearm at all, and it just
Another
explicitly
hypothetical, bro.
contradicted the Second Amendment, would you say that this would make him a threat to the Constitution?
These are way, way, way different. So don't even try that, bro.
No, they're not different.
This-
Because I'm asking
this-
you, if Biden passed an executive order that explicitly contradicted 2A, would that make
Use
him
a
threat to the
different example
Constitution?
that's not insane like that. Like, come on.
Okay, so
That
you're saying that it's insane to pass executive orders that explicitly contradict the Constitution. Well, I hate to inform you, but on January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump signed executive order number 14160 into law that explicitly contradicted the first section of the 14th Amendment, particularly protections for birthright citizenship. His executive order argued that the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil do not have birthright citizenship, even though the first section of the 14th Amendment explicitly guarantees them that. So if you think it is insane to pass EOs which would achieve this end goal, then you're calling Donald Trump insane for passing EO number 14160.
What does this have anything to do with what? None of this. You've just like I said, you've taken the argument, asked me a hypothetical, got your little gotcha moment, and then run with it. Like
Okay, so you agree that I got you. So if you agree that I got you, and earlier you agreed that you want to support Trump if he was a threat to the Constitution, and that I got you on conceding that he is a threat to the Constitution, this should mean that you're no longer MAGA, right? But it doesn't, because you're still going to support him and ignore everything I just said because you're a member of a cult.
See, and this is another thing with the woke. It's like you can't even have a pleasant conversation with people that have different views than you. Like me and you are talking right now, and I dislike woke. You are liberal, correct?
Yeah,
I
liberal.
don't dislike you.
So you're telling me,
I'm talking
I'm
to
not
you.
having a pleasant conversation with you. I'm being calm. I'm being level-headed. I'm just describing reality, man. And if like reality like disadvantages you because it describes you as a member of a cult, that's not a liberal crashing out. That's not me being like intense, rude, or insane. That's me just describing what is true, right? Like I think at a certain point, like we definitely need to come to like terms with what is true. And if it's true that you're a member of a cult, well then so be it. You know, sky's blue, beans are beans. Mr. Cody down here is a cult member. And if you don't like that, maybe it's a problem with MAGA that they can't come to terms with reality and that they hate liberals so much because they try to make them.
No, it seems as like you just get offended really easily, and you're just trying to attack. Like I said, you're not able to have a functioning conversation with someone if they have different views than you. It's,
I think
it's
that's-
just, and that is
well,
why your party is dying.
Well, number one, I don't think that I'm offended. Number two, I think I'm attempting to have a functioning conversation with you. Number three, if anything, I don't think that you're trying to have a functioning conversation with me. You accused me of attacking you when I called you a member of a cult. I described why I called you a member of a cult, and then you didn't respond. Then you just went back to saying that I'm attacking you once again with no
Well,
further
you
substance
muted me
or
for like 2
conversation
minutes.
related to a response to my claim. Right? And then, like, once again, I'll even take it a little bit further. I'm going to explain to you why I called you a member of a cult, to show you that it was a facet of a functional, truth-apt conversation and not the emotions of an angry angry liberal, right? We typically understand followers of cult to be those that would disregard reality to push their narrative, right? And they're going to follow something, somebody, or someone, right, until the ends of the earth in disregard of all red lines, in disregard of all reason, in disregard of all logic. And the reason why I'm calling you a member of a cult is because you suggested the red line that you would not support a president if they were a threat to the Constitution because you care about the Constitution. I then proved to you that Donald Trump is a threat to the Constitution, given a preconceived basis of what you agreed to would classify him as a threat to the Constitution. Then you conceded, saying that I got you and that you didn't know how to prove me wrong, meaning that this is true that he's a threat to the Constitution, but you are continuing to support him even though you suggested that you wouldn't support him if it was true. This is a cult-like behavior because you are now disregarding reality and replacing it with this like attitude of disbelief in fact, disrespect of reality, and just to further your narrative supporting one man, right? That is why I'm calling you a member of a cult.
Okay, I got it, bro. Yeah, like, I mean, you're just proving my point as to why, like, it's obvious where you're incapable of having a conversation with people that have different ideas than you. Like, you're talking to me, like, passive aggressively, like, you're, like, in a, like, a little sassy manner. You're like a child. It really is. You are truly like a child.
Okay,
And it's funny that I could tell that your mood shifted when I brought up the fact that no one knows what the hell a cis male is. That is when your energy shifted, which shows that me just saying, like openly saying, hey, Dean, I don't understand what a cis male is. I think it's a little wild for people to die on a hill if I accidentally misgender someone and they say, oh, Cody, I'm a cis male. What the fuck's a cis male? No one knows what the hell that is, bro.
Okay.
No one knows what the hell that is.
I want to go back to the, well, I mean, you don't because you're uneducated, but anyways, I want to go back to
No,
the first
no
one.
one knows what that is, bro.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, you do, but the majority of the people, they don't know what the hell that is.
Right, that's why we have a public education system
I would
that's funded
argue-
billions of dollars per year, Cody.
I would argue that
Now,
that
quickly,
type of movement,
now,
like
do
the
you mind
transgender
if I respond to the first part of your claim? It seems like you're...
I mean,
very
you're going to do it
quickly
anyway, so go ahead.
Right. You told me that, like, I'm getting emotional, I'm being passive-aggressive, I can't have a conversation with you. Cody, I think that you're, like, trying to bait for a reaction from me, but it's simply not working.
I'm not, but...
I think at the end of the day that even you know that, like, I am carrying myself with respect, I am carrying myself with a level head, and I am carrying myself with facts, reason, and logic, and I've been able to back up everything that I've said, and I've been able to refute everything that you've said. Like, for instance, if we really want to talk about who's being more emotional in the context of this conversation, you've called me manic,
It's me,
you've
yeah.
called me insane, you've called me a child 3 times. What have I called you?
Well, you accused me of being in a fucking cult.
And then I gave an explanation insofar as how that is true, right? So the difference between me accusing you of being a member of a cult and you calling me manic, insane, and a child twice is that your claims are
Okay, the manic was a
unsubstantiated.
joke.
It's a fact that your claims are unsubstantiated and grounded in emotion, and my claims are substantiated and grounded in fact and reason. So when you sit up here and you tell me that the liberals are angry, emotional, and they just can't have good conversations, I think that's a projection of yourself.
See, I mean, you're just proving my point, bro. Like,
I'm proving
look at
your
you.
point by
Like,
describing reality, correct?
no, like, people will watch this and they'll see an emotional 20-year-old incapable of having a conversation with someone else that has different views than them. That's just what it is.
Okay, but like so far that's only
And that's
been
why your party's dying.
But so far, that's only been a claim that you've made with no reason. Like, once again, I'll repeat. What was the good reason for you to accuse me of being a child? I want you to be clear.
I mean, just the way the way you're carrying yourself right now, the way you're talking to me.
Okay,
the fact that
I want you to be
didn't-
specific.
The fact that you couldn't.
What is
Can
the
I
manner?
not speak? Didn't
Well,
you? I'm just giving you like.
Just quickly, I want you to be specific.
Oh my
What is the manner in which I'm talking that makes it clear I'm a child?
Am I good to answer now, Mr. Dean?
Yes, please.
I did say you're manic. I said it in a way. And I understand that you may not have caught it that way.
Oh.
I said it in a way that was in a joking manner.
Oh, I'm asking
And
about the
I
child
think
claim. You're not answering my question. I'll repeat it. What is the
Oh yeah, I
manner?
just think you act like a child.
What is the manner in which I'm speaking that makes it clear I'm acting like a child?
Well, I mean, the fact that if I try to speak, you interrupt me automatically. You'll mute me if I'm trying to make a point, even though I feel like I've been very, not lenient, but very fair on letting you talk whenever you were. Like, I haven't
Okay.
interrupted you.
All right. And
I just think the way that
So I haven't
I
muted you,
understand that this is your live. This is like your thing.
right?
So
So
you
so
do
so
have the
Cody,
case for it.
I'm gonna be clear.
So you're interrupting me right now.
Yeah, I haven't muted you, right? So that was a
You
lie.
you have.
And then second point here, you're telling me that I'm acting like a child for interrupting you? Well, I think sometimes interruptions are warranted, particularly when they could further the productivity of the dialogue. Like, for instance, my second to last interruption, I interrupted you to re-ask my question because you weren't responding to it. I'll give you the context. I asked you what is the manner in which I'm speaking that proves I'm a child, and then you started talking about how you were joking when you called me manic. Well, the reason why I interrupted you is because that wasn't the question that I asked you. Cody, do you know what I think of you? I think that you're fucking sensitive as hell. Can we get some like crybabies, bottle emojis down below in the chat? Because it's fucking funny because you came up here saying that we should be able to make fun of gay people and black people, but then the moment I steamroll you in a debate
Comedically,
and
Dean. Come
absolutely
on.
destroy you and then interrupt you for the productivity, you crash out, you lose your shit, and you start whining about how I'm a baby. No, the only baby here is you, kid. Now, Alania, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love, Alania. You are awesome. He got us a restriction, so we're going to go to move on. Thank you so much, Alania. Alania says, get shit-faced. Oh, you know it. Thank you for the 50. Let's get 500 Alania W's down below, chat. Let's get 500 Alania W's down below. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, you already know that's how it's going to be on the 21st. Jackson with a 10 and Autumn with a 10. Appreciate it. Welcome in. What's going on, Racing Kid? Do you support Trump? Okay, they're not here. We're going to move on to the next guest. I wish that the last guest didn't get a restriction. Unfortunate. We got Bouncer loading up. Cole, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Kimmy with a 5 as well. Just tell the guest it's obvious that I... Okay, well, I'm not going to read that, but thank you for the love. Jack with a $5. Appreciate you so much. Savannah with a 15, saying, hey, Dean, my 21st is the 16th of September. Happy early birthday, Savannah. Show some love to Savannah down below in that chat. I appreciate you guys for the love. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Congrats on the gifts, man. I do on a lot of things. I'm more pro America though
Okay.
than only pro Trump.
Quickly before
So
we hop into the debate, there's a couple more people I'd like to thank. Danny, thank you for the $10. That is DANIAE. Danny says, MAGA equals hypocrite. I'd crash out too if I was you, Dean. Thank you for these lives because it really has helped me with my anxiety after DT was elected. Honestly, I didn't even crash out on that last guest. Thank you for the 10, though. Carissa with a 1, then Mary with a 10 for Gatorade and aspirin after your birthday drinks. Be safe. Love you, Dean. Thank you, Mary. Melissa with a 5, Jonesy with a 5, and then Taylor! Thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Taylor, you are awesome. Let's get 500 Taylor W's. Thank you so much, Taylor. Taylor says, in addition to my donation on Tuesday, here's for a drink and a new chair. Thank you for standing up for women, LGBTQ plus and rights. You're amazing. I still need to go get that new chair, man. Fuck, I need to do that. And then Kelly with a 10, Allison with a 5, Kimber with a 5, Ian with a 1, and Nadi with a 10. Appreciate everyone so much for all the love. Now go ahead and take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, so it just depends on how things stand as far as like the constitutional protections thing. And that's actually what I was curious about was your actual stance. I wanted you to kind of like, maybe more simply explain your stance on constitutional protections for non-citizens, please.
Yeah. My stance on constitutional protections for non-citizens is simple. Not only does the Constitution guarantee them, right? And we should probably act in accordance with the Constitution, and if we need to change it, amend it through the proper legal channels. And 2, constitutional rights can cross over with human rights, and that is why I believe that they should be offered to everybody in the country, not just citizens, because non-citizens are human too.
Amen to that. So do you not think that there should be a distinguished protection between non-citizens and citizens, though?
I don't think that there can be without good reason under the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th Amendment.
So then you basically believe that anyone should just be able to just come in here and do as they please as an American living here.
Wait, where are you getting that one from? I'm confused.
Well, that's what I'm asking is like, do they have all the same, they can just like be here, they can just come here and then enjoy the same protections?
Wait, are you saying that the Constitution would prohibit border policy?
I'm asking if that's what your stance is.
No, the Constitution does not prohibit border policy. What?
So then how would they be here?
Are you asking me now how are undocumented immigrants in the country?
Without proper border regulation,
so what,
they get through illegally.
I have a question. What is the relevance of me describing to you how undocumented immigrants got into America? What is the relevance of that conceptually to your claim about, or your question about if they should be protected under the Constitution or not?
Because if they got here illegally, then they began their journey in here by breaking our laws.
By breaking a misdemeanor, yeah. So do you think that undocumented immigrants have constitutional protections?
Definitely, that makes sense to me. I like, some of the stuff you said. I actually like the way you put it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that they should have all the same protections, that we do and
Okay,
everything.
which one should they not
There should
have?
be some legitimate form of due process there, especially because it's like if you say an American goes to another country and gets arrested or something like that, right? There's no way to understand that system unless you're familiar with that country.
Quickly,
And so
what constitutional protections should undocumented immigrants not have?
what should they not have?
Yeah, what should they not have?
So obviously, they shouldn't really be able to enjoy the same, protections, rights to employment.
Which ones?
Protections?
Yeah,
as
which
a
protections
citizen?
should they not have?
In an illegal stance?
Yeah, we're talking about the constitutional rights
Because
here.
that's more of what I'm referring to, is that you're having to break the law in the first place.
You're not answering my question.
to
You
be
said that
here.
they should have less constitutional protections from citizens. Okay, which ones?
Well, I'm explaining that, and then you interrupted me.
You weren't explaining it at all. You just said that they committed a misdemeanor when they came in. That is not explaining which constitutional protections you don't think they should be eligible for.
No, I explained that after you had asked why they shouldn't enjoy the same protections. See,
No,
you're
that's not the
taking-
question that I asked. I did not ask why they shouldn't. I asked which ones shouldn't they have.
Right.
Okay, so which ones?
So there should be. I mean, obviously, if they're here illegally, they need to be able to address that, right?
Not answering still.
Before just going into employment, before just enjoying, is like
Okay,
the
I'm going to interrupt you
healthcare,
again. What
you do advocate
protections
for.
should they not have that citizens should have?
Do you think that they should have the right to healthcare and all? Do you think that they should?
A question is not an answer.
That's what I'm. That's the things that I'm discussing.
Then
So, yeah.
make it clear. What protections should citizens have? Constitutional protections. Remember, we're talking about constitutional protections.
Healthcare.
Healthcare is not a constitutional protection.
It's not a constitutional protection.
Right, and you're the one that told me that they should have less constitutional
It's something
protections.
that they use. It's something that they use in our system.
Okay, I'm going to mute you now. You are still running away from the question. You said, look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes, buddy. You asked me about constitutional protections for undocumented immigrants. I told you that they have them. All right? You responded by saying that you think they should have some, but not all. You said that undocumented immigrants should have less constitutional protections than citizens. I'm going to make my question clear. Very, very clear for you and everybody else listening. What constitutional protections do you believe that citizens should qualify for that undocumented immigrants should not qualify for? Answer that question and nothing else. No pivots, no deflections, just a response.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for clarifying the question for me. So, first off, okay, they broke our law, all right? And so, being able to have access to our system or any benefits of our system whatsoever, they should not. Other than, obviously, physical protection, things like that. Non-citizens should not come into the U.S. and be able to be mistreated by citizens and not be protected. I would not advocate for such a thing. But as far as access to the benefits of our system,
You still haven't given me a response.
that is the response.
What benefits
You're
of
obviously not listening.
what benefits of our system are guaranteed through constitutional protections that you don't think a non-citizen should qualify for?
Do you think that, see, that's the thing is now, no matter what I say, because look, we're talking about someone breaking a law and it not being addressed before things continue. We're talking about someone being here illegally.
Okay, man.
They did all that.
I'm going to give you one last opportunity. If you don't know, just say that. We can move on. But if you don't say that you don't know, and you continue to give me a non-answer, I'm going to kick you.
Maybe we just won't see eye to eye on this. So,
Okay, that's another non-answer. That's not, I don't know. I'm going to kick you. Bye. Have a good rest of your day. Let's go to move on to the next guest. We got Riley loading up into the box. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in. Here we go, everybody. Make sure if you're in that queue that you're at least an American adult that is 18 years old and supports Donald J. Trump. Those are the rules. We're going to go to get Joel loaded in right now. Everyone just give us a minute. Here we go. Why was he trying to gaslight himself into thinking that he was answering the question and we weren't just seeing eye to eye? Bro, what? Welcome in, Joel. Do you support Trump? Joel, hi, you're on the live. Are you here? All right, goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in here. We got Zach83 loading in. Yo, Nicole, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal, Nicole. Let's go. Dude, I want to see 500 Nicole W's down below. Thank you a billion times over, Nicole. I love you so much. Thank you for the $50 donation. Nicole says, it's your podcast that have truly made me understand how Trump has the following he has and keeps them all. They're all seriously simple-minded. They need someone to think for them. OMG, thank you, and God bless the patience you have in attempting to educate Trump's cult. I appreciate you for the love, Nicole. Let's get 500 Nicole W's. Welcome in, man. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
All righty. One more donation to thank here. RJ, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. Let's get 200 RJWs. Thank you, RJ. RJ says, hope you have a safe and fun birthday. Thank you for helping a 37-year-old understand what has typically been a boring subject and for ruining all of the Trump supporters' days. Thank you for the love, RJ. Let's show some love to Nicola and RJ down below. Now, Zach, Mike is yours. Why the hell do you support the worst president of either of our lives?
Well, I give you a reason, man. He took care of the people when, we had the pandemic. I just want to say, offset from that, man, you are a very smart kid, and I like what you do. I'm not gonna lie, I really do. You are you're not only saying things that but you're teaching people things that they didn't know.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of things till I listened to you. I supported Trump. I voted for Trump because I believed in Trump. Okay, I believed that he was going to turn this nation around and make it whole like it used to be.
Right.
I know that we have a lot of problems, and one thing that I have a problem with is racism. I'm actually sick of it, honestly.
Okay.
I know it's a big, huge thing in America and all over the world. I believe it needs to just stop. I believe that if somebody wants to be gay, let them be gay and leave it alone. If somebody wants to change their gender, leave it alone. Let them do it. I believe in the rights of the people. We have rights. We are told we have rights. Some of us, and as far as him taking away medical and things like that, yes, that is wrong. But I believe it's trying to push the American people into going back to work. During the pandemic, people got lazy. People were given way too much. And they settled on that. They got comfortable with that. My belief is that Trump is doing this to push people to go back into the workforce and earn what they need and what they can have. That is the life. We need to earn what we have. You don't move into a house and not pay for it. No matter if you're buying it or renting it, you still pay money.
Okay.
You still pay the bank to live in that property or whatever it is. So back to the reason I support Trump. Trump, I just believe in him. I believe in that he's going to make a difference. I know that, you made me understand that this man has done things in his past. Well, so have I. And I heard you speak on felons. I'm going to be honest with you. I am a 2-time felon. I did vote for Trump. I do work, and I pay taxes, and I pay for medical, and I do these things as a felon. So, to speak on felons in a term of negative, not all of us are negative. Some of us have learned a lesson. Some of us have went and done what we've done and learned from it. A lot of us don't. You have felons that come in and out of prison. Well, you know what? That's their own damn fault. they can't learn something, then they need to grow the fuck up and realize what's in front of them and not behind them. But that's my opinion.
Okay.
I'm not speaking hypocritical in no kind of way because I'm not a hypocrite. I don't believe in hypocrisy, being that way. Just
mind-
like I don't,
mind-
like I don't believe in racism.
Do you mind if I hop in here real quick?
Come on.
Okay. Because there's a lot that you said there. I'm going to try to condense most of it down. If there's anything
Yeah, I
I
rambled.
forgot, just feel free to let me know. So first point, saying that you support him, defunding Medicaid, kicking people off because you think it's him wanting to incentivize people to work. Okay. All right. I don't think that healthcare should be the policy that incentivizes work. I agree that our government is totally well within their rights towards naturally incentivizing people towards employment. And I bet we could all agree that able-bodied, American adults should work at least 80 hours a month, all right, under good working
Absolutely.
conditions. Everybody can agree to that. I just think policy to get that goal done should be separate and decoupled from policy that saves people's lives. Think about it this way. I think we could all agree that necessary social programs should not have a work requirement on them. What are examples of necessary social programs? The police, the firefighters, the roadways, right? Can we agree that the police, the firefighters, and the roadways shouldn't have work requirements on them in order to use them?
Absolutely.
And can we agree the reason would be it's because they're necessary? People sometimes need the police, sometimes need the firefighters, sometimes need the public roads. Okay.
Yeah.
Can
I
we?
say that all the time when people say F the police. I say, yeah, but you say that, but what if you need them? Then
Okay.
you're going to, you know what I'm saying? So,
Oh.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'll leave that alone for now because I want to stick on this. Can we also agree that sometimes low-income Americans need to go to the hospital, need to go to a doctor's office?
Yeah,
Right?
I-
And
I
now that you've agreed there, does that mean that therefore it's a necessary social program for millions of low-income Americans?
sure.
And we've already agreed that necessary social programs should have work requirements on them, meaning that both you and I would now disagree with Donald Trump's massive sweeping cuts under the Big Beautiful Bill, kicking 10 million low-income Americans off of Medicaid, not only because of said work requirements, but also just because of a general reduction in funding.
But does he have a plan? Is there a reason why he's doing this? What is his plan?
The
Is he
ultimate
got
reason why
one?
he's doing this was to defund it. So the overall debt spending of the Big Beautiful Bill was lower.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that.
Right. So it was spent a lot of money. So like I believe that the cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to SNAP, etc., like it was just seriously to reduce the overall like debt impact. Like if he didn't cut those people off of Medicaid, the Big Beautiful Bill would have costed on total like $5.5 trillion. If he didn't cut SNAP, $5.8 trillion. If he didn't cut the DOE, $6 trillion. You know what I mean? It's like, it would have been even more expensive. So his solution was to literally take necessary social safety nets away from those that need it the most, then attempt to dress them up and make them look good by arguing that it's just to get more people to go out and work. And that's one really big reason why we shouldn't support them.
Okay. And there, again, I learned something. I get it. I get it. But I just feel like he has a plan. And I feel like this plan is going to explode and everybody's going to smile about it.
Okay.
So
is that faith-based or reason-based?
I don't believe he does this job on his own. I believe there's other hands in the mix. But that's just me.
Is that faith-based or like reason-based?
Just faith-based.
Okay. Would you? I have a question. Would you bet $1,000 that you're right?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
So it's like right now, if I wanted to bet you $1,000 that I could prove you wrong, would you take the bet?
Probably not, or because you could probably prove me wrong.
Oh, okay. So then you wouldn't bet $1,000 that you're right. Now check this out. Check this out. Here's a good point.
Okay.
You just told us that you wouldn't bet $1,000 of your own money that you're right. Why? Because if you're wrong, then you would be hurt. You would lose $1,000. Okay.
Absolutely.
But like, guess what? If you're wrong in reality today, 10 million people are going to be hurt because they lost healthcare. 3 million people are going to be hurt because they lost food stamps. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, 150 million Americans are going to be hurt because now their purchasing power is lower than it was before. Everybody's going to be hurt because of the imposition of tariffs. S&P 500 companies are hurt, and now their profit is down. Every American company was hurt in the first quarter. Our GDP went down, right? People are hurt. Now they're paying more for groceries. Women are hurt because now they can't access health care. Marginalized communities are hurt. Trans people are hurt because now Donald Trump is demonizing them. Immigrants are hurt because Donald Trump is saying that they're the blood of the poisoning the blood of the country and deporting them to Sikot and El Salvador where they're beaten and tortured. So it's like, why wouldn't you be willing to hedge a bet on $1,000 of your own money, but you are willing to hedge a bet on the livelihoods and savings accounts of millions of others of Americans?
Okay, damn. Yeah. Hit me where it hurts. That's good. Okay. Yeah, I see. These are things that you're educated on, and I'm not. I'm, like I said, when I watch you, I learn from you. I'm still going to be a Trump supporter at the end of the day. I'm still going to be a Republican until the day I die. I was raised that way. That's what I believe. It's embedded in my belief.
I feel like you're gaslighting yourself, because if that was true, then you wouldn't have been conceding to my claims. I mean, I could just kind of like tell when like somebody's like a cult member. I'm not getting those vibes off of you, even though you're saying you are. like, which is I know, which is like strange. Everybody like watching is probably like, what? Like, I know, I like, dude, I just feel like you're gaslighting yourself, man. Like, it's okay to like not be a Trump supporter. It's okay to like not be a Republican. No matter like how comfortable you are on those things, because at the end of the day, the point of like political affiliation isn't to be a part of a group or isn't to like feel like the other side is always wrong. The point of political affiliation is like literally to further a country, you know, like politics. They're not like a sports game. They're not MMA fighters, you know, they're not football players. They're real people with real power that impact real lives. Right.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be one of those situations where you say you're going to be red till the day you die. You're going to be MAGA forever. Like, even I won't say I'm going to be blue until the day I die. If there's a moment in the future where a Republican representative comes along that is genuinely better for the country, I will be the first one to turn around and to tell my millions of followers to vote for him.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I understand. When I was growing up and I saw the president, I was seeing what the person as the human was doing for our country. How they were going to bring it up from the fall. And we fell hard.
1 second. Or her. I just had to add that on. I said vote for him or her. Go ahead.
Exactly. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes we need a woman to run the country.
Agreed.
I mean, everybody needs a mom. But, I mean, you know, yeah, so I get it. Okay. Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe something will change. But as of right now, it's what I feel.
All right,
Yeah.
Zach. Well, yeah, I don't really know if this conversation is going to go anywhere further.
Okay.
You're an interesting
Fine.
mix of like stuck in your ways, cult-like behaviors, and like good faithness. Maybe, you know, what I'd recommend to you, the diagnosis would be, if you happen to have free time and you feel like watching the stream, you should hang out in here and see what you think about what I have to say. Maybe you're one of those cases that it takes a while to crack. So I think it's
Okay.
possible, man. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Hey,
Hi, Dean.
it was good talking to you, man.
And
Hi,
ho-
Dean.
Hi.
We debated Mama Kim.
Oh, no, I've debated you too. Okay. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
I wanted
Hey.
to watch you.
Hey, I appreciate you, bud. I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it
Thank you.
up.
Have a good one. We're going to move on to the next guest now. Let's go to get that next Trump up in the box. Yeah, okay. I feel like he was a case of like, yeah, I mean, dude, come on. Cult-like behaviors. And he's going to rock with MAGA and Republicans until the day he dies, even when faced with like overruling reasons. But like, he was also like being respectful. Maybe that's one of those cases that just will take like a while to crack, you know? Like, I didn't give up Christianity in one day. You know, it took me years. Same thing with the Republican Party. Sandra, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal saying, hi, Dima, I'm in the UK and I love listening to you. Thank you, Sandra. Lori with a $5 saying, thank you for spreading some common sense. Thank you, Lori. And then Ash with a $10 saying, happy almost birthday. It's okay. We're like a couple weeks away, y'all. Drink an electrolyte drink, like Pedialyte or Electrolyte after you drink. It will help mitigate the hangover. No sports drinks. They're very high sugar. You know what? Thank you, Ash. I really appreciate that because I know nothing about the alcohol. Yeah, never tasted drip. Thank you for the $10. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Cole?
Yes, Dean, I do. And I actually wanted to say this. We did not get to finish our debate from 2 weeks ago. When I was on, the stream ended up freezing and we didn't get to finish our debate.
What were we debating about?
Well, the starting point I believe that I had made was the immigration that Trump has put into place. Now, earlier, because I was listening to your stream, you had said, are you an evil Republican or are you misinformed? And I feel like I might be misinformed because you made a good point earlier, and I wanted to see if you could elaborate on amnesty for illegal immigrants, because I've been sold under the idea that if you're in this country illegally, you shouldn't be here. But you made a point earlier,
Sure, what
and
the hell? Why not? Why
you
not?
kind of had me thinking, respectfully.
Yeah, think about it this way. I would agree with deportations if they were actually good for the immigrants and good for the country and good for people, good for humanity, etc. The fact of the matter is that they're not, right? And like deportations have systemically dehumanized the immigrants. They've ripped families apart. They've sent people to torture cells in El Salvador. They've rounded people up in camps in Florida. And then on the other side of things, insofar as how it's impacted this country and the Americans, it really hurts our GDP, really hurts American business growth, really hurts American manufacturing.
Not to cut you off, because I heard you making this point earlier.
Okay.
So
you've already heard that.
how does that work? Because, and I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm not trying to be like a brainwashed Republican, because I agree with some of the points you make, but how does that work? So if we have 1,000 illegal immigrants, I know there's a lot more than that, but how do we decipher between who's good and who's bad? And when we decide that,
like just
do some people need to be kicked out of the country? Like, who do you decide gets amnesty?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that general guidelines are acceptable. I'm okay with deporting individuals with prior violent offenses. I'm okay with deporting individuals with prior, like, non-violent yet insane criminal offenses. I'm okay with deporting individuals with, like, insane outstanding warrants from other countries. And yeah, I feel like that's fair, right? And then everybody else should stay. They help this country. We help them. They help us. It's mutually beneficial. They get to live their life. We get to live ours. And we all get to live a better life because of their contributions to our economy.
Okay, and the other part I wanted to touch up on is you mentioned GDP.
Right.
So how, and again, I'm ignorant. I'm going to say, if you could enlighten me on this, how does that actually work if they're not documented? How is that helping the overall GDP?
Yeah, because you don't have to be documented in order to work. 8.3 million undocumented immigrants work. 11 million undocumented immigrants consume. They're more likely to work because more of them are of working age. So because there's so many of them working and so many of them consuming, so many of them paying taxes and buying goods and giving profit to their employers, that's a massive GDP contribution. I mean, just remove the word undocumented worker and let's just focus on workers. Do workers of companies increase the GDP? Duh. How do workers of companies increase the GDP? By the profit that is extracted off of them by their employer, by the money that's given to them that they spend, through the money that's paid in taxes, the money that they might reinvest into their own startup, the money that they donate to charitable cause to focus on other startups, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean?
No, Dean, that's actually a valid point. That's fair.
Right.
And no, that's what I wanted to actually get more info on. But no, I will say respectfully, man, I've been listening to your streams more, and you're growing on me. I mean, I'll be honest, I voted for Trump in 2024. I mean, obviously, I wasn't of age in 2016,
Right.
but I can admit when, I'm wrong. But no, that's a valid point, sir. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really do appreciate that.
I appreciate you for coming up here. Actually, one last thing I wanted to say, because we didn't talk about the undocumented entry on its own. Just real quick. Have you ever broke the law for your convenience? Have you ever went 5 miles over the speeding limit? Have you ever jaywalked? Did you drink underage?
I'm not going to lie to you. I was actually speeding on the way home from work. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's just as illegal as undocumented entry, right? And think about the convenience that you gained from speeding home on the way to work. You got home like 3 minutes early, right? Now, what is a convenience gained through undocumented entry? A whole new life in an area with opportunity, sustainability, school for your children, homes to buy, places to live, friends to make, living conditions that are significantly better than where you're coming from. And I feel like when we make that consideration, it's a little bit harder to demonize individuals for undocumented entry, right? And now that we've made it a little bit harder to demonize individuals for undocumented entry, we've made the
Right.
clear distinction of what are the benefits of mass amnesty and the detriments of mass deportation, and why they chose undocumented entry in the first place. It's because you can wait 5 to 7 years for legal entry. It's unattainable for so many people because our government hasn't fixed the issues with it. I feel like the solution is clear. The current GOP rhetoric, policy, and approach to addressing undocumented immigration into America and sending them out is immoral and economically harmful.
Okay. I feel like you kind of touched up on this. I'm trying, as I want to see all the points you're making, but it's hard for me to wrap my head around, right? So we talk about amnesty, but how do we actually make that work effectively? I mean, let's be honest, and this goes for everybody, whether you're white, black, blue, or orange. There's good and bad no matter where you look at in the country, outside the country, etc. So what steps could we take to allow, good, hardworking immigrants amnesty, but we're also filtering out people that are in MS-13, for an example, the cartels, and these are actual things that have happened around where I live, which is Maryland. But how would you propose that is done?
I got you, right? Think about it. How are we going to be
Guys, when I said orange, that was a joke. I didn't mean orange. Sorry. Your chat's...
No, brother. I mean, I thought it was funny. Like, I'm thinking Trump in my head.
I didn't mean to offend anybody.
I don't think anybody got offended by orange. People probably were just thinking about Trump. Now, anyways, so I'll go back. I'll go back to what I was saying. Yeah, if somebody in the chat just said Trump is orange, no worries. Okay. Anyways, so no, you bring up valid concerns. You know what I mean? There is a very small portion of undocumented immigrants that are in this country that have committed violent crimes. That are here for nefarious reasons, etc. But what is going to make it significantly easier to find them and execute upon the proper legal channels of either putting them in jail or deporting them when we're focusing on the broader scope of everybody who's here that is undocumented, or focusing on the narrow scope of everybody who is here that is undocumented with prior violent offenses, gang affiliation, nefarious reasons, etc.?
Okay.
Right. We're going to take our scope from 11 million people to 50,000 people, maybe. Right.
Right on.
We're focusing our efforts, our time, our intentions, our law enforcement officers on 50,000 people compared to 11 million people. I am going to believe we'll be able to get it done not only more benevolently, because we won't be needing to rush the process. Due process can take place. But we'll also be able to get it done quicker, right? Because there's fewer of them that would be focusing on. There wouldn't be the mass roundups. There wouldn't be the alligator Alcatraz. There wouldn't be the violation of due process. Because we would have so many resources to focus on such a small group of people. We would be able to execute it in accordance with the law, with due process, without the alligator Alcatrazes of the U.S., and faster.
That I can respect that, Dean. So one more thing, because I understand you have a lot of people waiting. Another thing that I feel like I'm going to call it was bad goods that I feel like I was sold, and along with a lot of other Americans, is the idea of tariffs. So my understanding of tariffs is that, and it's probably completely wrong, but I was sold that with tariffs, that is going to bring more money into the country, therefore helping the American citizens. Right. What would you have to add in regards to that?
Yeah. I think that sometimes tariffs can be good. Isolated tariffs sometimes in some places are beneficial, right? And I think that's why Trump has been able to confuse so many Americans, because sometimes they're beneficial. So therefore, he just kind of equivocates to what he's doing is beneficial, right? However, right, the blanket tariffs that we see implemented on these countries are very bad for a handful of reasons. First and foremost, right, that tariff is ultimately passed down to the consumer. I'm sure that you've heard that a billion times, and maybe you've never gotten a clear explanation. It has to be passed down to the consumer because that's how it protects American industries. The incentive.
Now, with that, in theory, costs more money in hindsight. With what you just said, couldn't that essentially cost us more money than good?
Well, it just means that the money that's being raised for our government right now is ultimately paid for by American consumers. And because the less money you make, the more of your paycheck you spend to consume, it's disproportionately paid for by low-income Americans. I understand that a surplus in July is attractive, but when that surplus is being paid by a regressive tax on the poor, it becomes very unattractive.
Okay. No, that's valid, Dean.
And then
honestly,
one last big point. I have one last big point here. Do you agree that we should all want American excellence, true American excellence?
I'm not trying to be a smart like Alec, but could you elaborate? Like, what do you mean exactly? I feel
Just
like
the
that
way
can be taken.
that this country should benevolently excel, that we should do good, we should strive to do the best.
I would say yes. I mean, I love the country that I'm in. I would assume you agree. I want to see the best for our nation. I feel like most people could agree on that.
Would you agree that innovation is instrumental for American excellence?
Yes, I could agree with that.
What breeds innovation? Economically speaking, do you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I gotcha.
outsiders.
Competition.
I mean, I could say outsiders definitely help.
Economically speaking, competition drives innovation.
So competition could be from, outsiders, correct? I mean, is that a fair statement? Okay.
Yeah, just generally speaking, it's easy. One of the main causes of innovation is competition. Okay, if there's one company that holds a monopoly over an industry, they're going to have less innovation they're going to have less incentive to innovate because there's no other competitor with a product that's better than theirs. All right. So when the more competition you have in the marketplace, the more likely these companies will be to innovate, to make their product better, to be more marketable towards the consumer, right? Now, could we agree that tariffs are like literally designed to limit competition of goods and companies outside of America?
I would say yes, but enlighten me. I'm not too
No, the answer
too
is
sure.
yes. The answer is yes. Tariffs are supposed to like restrict competition to give American companies the upper hand, right? But it's still restricting competition. And if competition breeds innovation, less competition means less innovation. So not only do tariffs effectively act as a regressive tax on the poor, but they also impede upon American excellence by preventing the expansion of American innovation.
So, and just so I understand this right, so by us not allowing amnesty for the hardworking good immigrants, that is essentially hindering our country's ability to grow, be innovative, and allow more competition for us to grow. Would you say that's a fair statement?
Sure, yeah, because it's limiting competition in the labor force, meaning individuals are less incentivized to become a higher skilled laborer, right? So yeah, the mass deportation is limiting competition in the labor force, and the tariffs are limiting competition of business. Absolutely.
Well, Dean, that actually makes sense, and thank you for laying that out, and thank you for being respectful, because I've heard some of the debates you've had, and some people are very disrespectful and rude, but thank you for enlightening me and explaining that to me, because I'll say it again, not to repeat myself. I feel like between the media and just the batch of bad goods that people are being sold, it's hard to decipher between what is true and what is false.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, Cole.
You too, Dean. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you as well, man. Yo, Rodney, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying I look at the tariffs like a shipping charge on all products. Yeah, no, that is a very fair way to look at them. That's what they are. That is absolutely what they are. All right. Yeah, what a good convo. What a good convo, you guys. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. By the way, I just want to put this one out here. I'm going to be doing shameless free promo for a movie that's coming out. It's called Nobody 2. It is the follow-up of Nobody 1. So both Nobody 1 and Nobody 2, I guess I've only seen Nobody 1 because Nobody 2 comes out today. Nobody is an action movie, and quite frankly, it is one of the best, if not the best action movies I have ever seen. Bob Odenkirk stars in it, helped produce it. It is fucking great. One of the best action movies of the 21st century. And today, Nobody 2 comes out. I was looking online to buy some tickets because that's what I'm going to do later this evening. There was not a single ticket sold in the theater the day of release. Chat, I don't know why, but these two movies have just flown under the radar. Nobody has picked up on them, even though they are so good. Go watch Nobody 2. Go watch Nobody 1. It's kind of like John Wick. It's probably the closest thing that anybody's ever made to John Wick. And in some senses better. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Stephanie? Can I hear? Yeah, everybody in the chat is like, nobody, I haven't heard about it. Well, I know. Like, for whatever reason, it's like nobody knows about it. Funny enough, nobody knows about nobody, right? It's going to load up the next guest, Jay. It's so good, bro. Die Hard is the best action movie, says somebody in the YouTube chat. The Die Hard series is pretty damn good, I will say. Sophie, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Appreciate you for that love, Sophie. Sophie says, thank you for being more helpful than my ancient racist government professor. Thank you for being here, Sophie, and I'm happy that you're taking something away from it. Thank you for the $20. That is so incredibly kind of you. I mean that seriously. Once again, if you're watching and you want to support me, you want to support what we do here, you want to support independent journalism and attempting to change minds, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my BIO, y'all, on the TikTok account. I get 100% of those proceeds. They go straight to me, and you get a notification at the top of this phone that can include your name, any attached message, and I can read it off. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Sophie.
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
15, but
Banned. Got to be at least 18 to join, y'all. Come on now. Moving on to Jimmy4561. Hello, Jimmy4561. Do you support Trump, Jimmy4561?
Yeah.
Sammy, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Okay, all right, Jimmy4561. Why the hell do you support the worst president of your life, Donald J. Trump?
Well, what do you mean? How is he bad?
Yeah, for sure. Where'd you like me to start? Is character or policy?
No, start whatever you want, man. You're the one calling him bad.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that he is a very bad because he's literally like, what did you just say? Came up here to say the N-word. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. Let's go to get Kathleen up in the box. Here we go, everyone. Oh, yo, Sammy with the $5 said the only thing I disagree with you on, the first Nobody was okay at best. Bro, Sammy, you're tripping. That was such a good movie. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
Mm-hmm. Why do you support the worst president of your life?
Because Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, debatable.
How?
Get the fuck out of here. Banned. Yo, Juan, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Appreciate you for that love, Juan. That's very kind of you. Show some love to Juan down below in that chat, y'all, while we get that next guest loaded up in here. Listen, Tom's good. I'll admit, Tom's a great Spider-Man. But, like, we've also had other great Spider-Men, you know? Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no. How old are you? Just out of curiosity, unless you don't want to share.
I'm old. I'm 55.
Okay. All right. You're around the same age as my mom. You really shouldn't support Trump.
I have children. I have children your age.
Yeah. So why do you support the guy?
Well, listen, I mean, I already know this is going to be a complicated conversation because it happens all the time. A few people have brought up this point about a liberal and a conservative trying to talk. It's impossible because when you start bringing up points, everybody, starts feeling some type of way, and then you can't really communicate. So I'm going to try to tell you why. I was a Democrat. I used to love Obama. I used to love Hillary. I used to love all those people because I was never political before, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I do all my research, but I have done a lot since COVID.
Okay.
So when COVID happened, I saw a lot of stuff that I wasn't comfortable with. And it's funny how when it comes to debating or talking about politics, and I've heard it several times here that you're going to disagree and then you're going to shut down. And then you're going to bring a point to me and I'm going to say, well, okay, we know that things are rocky right now, but from what I saw...
Before you try to project what the conversation may look like, let's just start it. What about COVID makes you support Trump? Let's hear it.
Well, because I just saw all the injustices. I used to watch him on the podium with the journalists. I saw all the injustices on how he was treated compared to Biden.
Okay, how was he treated as such an injustice? Let's hear it.
Well, come on. I mean, this guy was attacked by all the journalists, asked whatever, put in positions, but yet Biden had a list and chose who he wanted, and the questions were all it was just...
Could you give me one way he was unjustly attacked by journalists?
Well, I'm just saying, if you compare the way Biden was at the podium and you compare Trump at the podium, you could see the difference.
Yeah, maybe because people
Right?
are more upset with Trump because he was worse, right? So that's why I'm asking you to demonstrate like one way a journalist unjustly attacked Trump, right? Because like for
What
instance,
I
if you want to call like a journalist writing on how he's held liable for rape and how he's a rapist, right? Unjust reporting, well, I'd say no, that's not unjust reporting because a court determined that's what he did.
Let's-
That should be reported
okay,
on.
so this
Like
is
same
so this
thing
is
with like the
that-
felonies
well,
or
wait a minute.
like
Dean,
the line
before you
about
go any
injecting
further,
bleach,
can we like just remember what's happened in these past couple of years with this administration that's been at the helm with Kamala and with
Kamala.
Biden? What's happened in the past couple of years? All these, I mean, if you want to go from the beginning where it started with me, when I saw Biden run this country, that's what made me change my mind. I'm like, wait, this is not for the American people.
Okay.
This is not for us. Why can't we think about us?
Yeah, yeah. What is the most anti-American thing that the Biden-Harris administration did?
Well, look at the Afghanistan invasion.
Okay, the pullout
You know,
of
like when you-
Afghanistan.
Oh, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
So you'd say that 13 dead service members was the most un-American thing that you think Biden did?
Well, I'm just saying the way that it was done, we all know that it was absolutely outrageous,
Okay.
right?
All right. Well,
I mean,
so
but not only that, but look at all the
Not only that.
corruption. And I know there's corruption on both sides. I'm not trying to say there isn't, but the corruption is really what made me get really a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
And right now, my biggest fear, there was no, Biden wasn't running the country. I don't know what was going on.
okay.
I mean, do you think, am I wrong?
You're
you
tired.
think I'm wrong?
You're tiring me out a little bit here. Could I explore one of your points?
What do you want to hear from me?
Okay.
That
and foremost-
why I voted for him?
First and foremost, Mel, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal to buy a shot on the birthday. Let's go, Mel. Thank you. Then Jordan with the $10 over on PayPal saying thank you for your work and for being a voice of the younger generation. I appreciate that, Jordan. Show some love to Mel and Jordan down below. As well as Libby with the $10 over on YouTube saying Donald Trump attacked a journalist character because of his disability. Yeah, I remember that. Thank you, Libby, for pointing that one out. So yeah, here's where I want to start. I want you to give me an example of the corruption of the Biden-Harris administration that makes it evidently clear that they're more anti-American than Trump and his administration. I believe that any example of corruption that you'd be able to paint a picture of, spin any narrative on, of the last 4 years under Biden, will ultimately fall short of some of the corruption that the Trump administration has engaged in. And now we'll go through that. We certainly will. But before we do, spin and twist the narrative. What is the most corrupt thing that you believe the Biden administration did in their 4 years of service to this country?
They opened the borders.
Okay.
And what other country has open borders?
How do they open the borders? Let's start there.
Did you not see the invasions of millions and millions and millions coming through?
Okay. So
And
what-
then once
what
they
did-
came
well,
through.
well, listen. I would say.
Well, this is part of the corruption you're asking me.
Listen.
And they
listen.
were put on buses, they were put on planes, they were brought here, they were brought there, they were put in hotels, they were given cards, they were this, they were that. What about all that?
Okay. So first and foremost. So the reason I asked you to describe to me what they did to open the borders is because I don't believe just because we had an increase in undocumented entry means that the Biden-Harris administration caused it. Like what I would say caused the increase in undocumented entry was one, when COVID hit, the socioeconomic standards of a lot of Southern Latin American countries were fucking devastated more than America, so they had more incentivization for immigration in the first place. Then two, we had Title 41 in effect, which literally stopped legal entry, so then the legal means of entry were backlogged and more unattainable, which made three, the undocumented means of entry, A, one, more attractive, and B, this was at the same time Donald Trump was shouting at the top of the lungs of how open and accessible they were. So this is what caused a surge of undocumented entry. And then the adequate and appropriate response of the Biden-Harris administration was to be like, hey, let's get some policy passed through Congress to make the legal means of entry more attainable to stop this issue. But then Donald Trump told the Republicans to shoot it down because he didn't want the Democrats to take a win so he could run on the issue and win your vote. That's corrupt. And then ultimately, after this, Biden finally said, okay, well, I'll implement an executive order so we can do something about it, even against Donald Trump's tyranny. And then that's what they did. Then border crossings dropped by 75%, right? But like nothing there in like the explanation I gave for why there was an increase in crossings and the Biden-Harris administration's response made it clear that they opened the border. If anything, it was the opposite, right? So that's why I'm asking you to tell me exactly what Biden and Harris did to open the border, because I'm going to be frank, maybe it's my age, but it's just not clear to me.
Well, but it should be clear to you because I saw it with my own eyes. I mean, why are you trying to, and what you say about Democrats, about what we are, I mean, I'm sorry, conservatives, about we're cult and we're racist and we're bigots and we're this and we're that, is what really conservatives think of Democrats.
One second.
Well, that's exactly.
One second.
That's what you said.
Did you listen
That's
to
what
the
you
last
said.
conversation I had with Cole?
Well, I've been listening to a few conversations.
Is there any point in the last conversation I had with Cole
I heard it
where
with
I
my
either
own
called him or indicated that he was
No,
a
not
cult
him.
member, a racist? Oh, okay. But he was a Trump supporter, right? So then maybe this has little to do with the baseline of being a Republican and all to do with the individual virtues, thoughts, or beliefs in which are typical of Trump supporters.
Yeah, but what about liberals? You think that, see, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you think of us, we think of you. When you think of us, we think of you guys.
Okay. So you think I'm
Not
a
able
member
to
of
have
So I'm gonna
conversations.
be honest. I was trying to have a conversation with you. I want to make this clear. You told me that Biden opened the borders. I gave my explanation of how I don't think that's true. So then I asked you to be clear. What did Biden do? Like an executive
But
order
you're
or
not,
policy?
but you're
If you'd
not
allow me to
correct.
finish here. If you'd allow me to finish here. So then I asked you to make it clear, like what executive order or policy did he sign into law that opened the borders? Because it's not clear to me. So then I re-asked that question. What did he do to open the borders? And then you're like, oh, I think you're racist, right? So I mean, if there's anybody here who's not trying to have a
I didn't say
conversation right
that
now, it's
you were
probably
racist.
you. And if you do want to have a functional conversation with somebody that politically disagrees with you, just answer the question I asked. What did Biden
That's
or
what
Harris
I'm
do to open the
trying to
borders?
do.
Because I gave you an explanation of the undocumented immigrant crisis under their 4 years, and I detailed how it's clear that's not something they did. So now I want you to detail it's clear that it is something that they did.
Okay, so if you go one step further, once they're in the country, look what happened once they were in the country. That was Biden. That was that administration. They took over the cities. They were flown everywhere. American people were displaced. I mean, they were everywhere. Airports. I mean, just taking over every sanctuary city.
I mean,
Now
I have a
we had to
feeling.
close.
I have a big feeling that you were just more like conscious of Hispanic people. So then you started like noticing Hispanic people in public more, and you just basically like associated them with being undocumented immigrants. If I'm going to be honest.
Well, if they're sleeping outside in the airport, what am I supposed to think?
Right. Exactly. You just said that they're Hispanic, they're undocumented. Come on now.
Well, I'm just telling you, if they have nowhere to go, how do you think they got in?
Wow. Do you think that only like non-Hispanic people could be homeless?
No, but we're talking
Wow.
about
Okay. So
thousands at a time.
all right, so you saw thousands of homeless
I
Hispanic
mean,
people in one area?
you,
What?
you have to
Oh, yeah, I
look
think we're
back
doxing.
at
What are we?
all
Yeah,
the
that's just okay. That's just racial profiling. Do you know what racial profiling is?
I'm not a racist person. I'm not.
Well, that was racial profiling. Like
No, I'm just telling
you're
you,
profiling them as something predicated on what their race or ethnicity was.
you
And also,
see
I
them.
think it's funny. I think it's funny because you just told us that they were taking over the hotels, houses, and cars, but now you're telling us that
Yes.
you identified them based upon not having a house, a car, or hotel to stay in. So which one is
I'm
it?
just telling you that it was an epidemic. It was overload of immigration. It was too much for the country to handle.
Okay, so then why didn't we see this follow with any of the trends of macroeconomics?
Well, that's why. Listen, 80,000 people or 78 million people voted for Trump. He turned over 7 states. Are we all nuts? Why did you think he won?
Yeah, I think that you're all wrong.
Well, I know, I get that.
Right. So then what
But,
was the point of asking?
well, I'm just saying, millions voted for him for a reason because of what was going on with the country.
Did you know the
I mean,
did you know the most voted for candidate in American history was Biden in 2020?
yeah, well, there's a deep state, there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of stuff that we don't even know.
I feel like you're
There's a
setting up
lot
to
of
say that
stuff.
he stole it, right?
Well, I don't want to jump on that bandwagon because I don't want to believe in stuff that I don't know for sure. I'm trying to avoid that. I don't want to be but conspiracies, are really sometimes have come true to this day. There's some stuff that has come true.
Do you mind if I
So,
do you mind if I do a cult litmus test on you to determine if you are a member of the Trump cult?
sure.
I have a test. I'm serious. I have a test. I'm dead ass.
Okay.
Okay, before we run the test, there's a couple of people that I'd like to thank. Nicola, that is Nicola. Thank you for the $7 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for that love. Everybody show some love to Nicola down below in that chat. As well as Isaac, thank you for the $5 over on Vimeo saying, hey, Dean, a big fan of you and you inspired me to support Harris. Let's go, Isaac. As well as Anne, thank you for the $20 over on Vimeo 4 minutes ago saying thank you for your work. You're making a difference in teaching people to critically think in a succinct and eloquent way. Thank you, Anne. As well as Zilla with a $5, Ian with a $5, Sam with a $5, Juan with a $5. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, 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 awesome. And if you are watching and you would like to support me, you could actually see my V and the P in the top of the phone screen right there. You know what that stands for. As well as, let's see who else here. Give me 1 second. That would be all. Okay, let's go ahead and do our cult litmus test. This will be fun. Okay, first question. Would you still support Donald J. Trump as president if he had perved on naked women and little girls? Come back. I can't hear you. Nadia, thank you for the galaxy. I don't know where she went. I'm going to be honest. Where did she go? Hello? Come back. Come back. Oh boy. I guess I don't know what happened to her. She's gone. Bye. Okay, whatever. Moving on. She left. I didn't kick her or anything. Yeah, don't know how to explain that. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to get that next guest loaded up in here. Yo, Aiden with the $5 on Venmo saying happy B-Day, dude. No, listen. It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. My birthday is 2 weeks away. My birthday is September 1st. There's been a handful of people sending like early birthday gifts. I appreciate you all. I just hope that you all know that it's not for like another 2 weeks. But thank you nonetheless. Kylie, $5 as well, saying, love you, Dean. I could watch you for hours. I love you too, Kylie. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
I don't know who to support.
Well, you sound young. My recommendation to you would be to watch it live. All right, moving on. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in. We got Stefan loading up in. Yo, Georgia! Thank you for the $25 on Venmo, Georgia. Georgia says you're doing what we should all be doing, so thanks for actually doing it. Your patience is amazing. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much, Georgia. You are awesome. Show some love to Georgia down below in that chat, y'all. Show some love to Georgia down below in that chat, y'all. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hey, do you remember when you lied about affirmative action when I was on here last time?
No, I don't know who you are.
Oh.
What did I lie
Just so you
about?
know, well, you said affirmative action ended under Biden.
Yeah, 'cause it
remember?
did.
Instead of Executive Order 14173.
Nadia, thank you for the galaxies. Go to shot down affirmative action at the end of Biden's term.
I was talking about for contractors, and you knew that. You were just being disingenuous as usual.
For contractors? What? We're talking about college.
Affirmative action. That's
Yes.
what we were talking about. We were talking about contracts being awarded through municipalities.
Yeah, so the United Supreme Court's
Mine.
effectively struck down affirmative action in college admissions on June 29th, 2023.
We weren't talking about college admissions. I told you I was a contractor. You knew what I was talking about. We were talking about government contracts.
I actually don't know what affirmative action is through government contracts. So either like
check
I
out
misinterpreted what you said.
Executive Order 14173.
14173. Okay, what does it do? Why do you like it? Does this make you support Trump?
Absolutely.
Okay, why's that?
Well, that's just one example.
Okay, what
but
does it
there's
do?
several. It got rid of affirmative action in terms of government contracts for contractors. That affected me huge. I'm also loving this emission stuff.
So this got
because
executive order. So executive order number 14173. That's what you're talking about, right?
That's correct.
So this revoked executive order number 11246, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson, that required federal contractors and subcontractors with contracts exceeding $10,000 to refrain from discriminating in hiring, promotion, and compensation, and other employment practices on the basis of race, color, sex, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin. So this wasn't unfairly advantaging individuals. It was criminalizing the unfair disadvantage of individuals.
And it was also 13162.
13162.
Correct.
No, this did not repeal 13162. It repealed 11246, 11375, 12086, 13279, 13280, 13496, 1665, and 13672, but not 13672.
13162, I do believe it.
13162. Do you mean 13672? But how do you feel about the fact that this basically just is no longer requiring federal contractors to not discriminate? Like, dude, what the fuck? You think that affirmative action is just banning discrimination? Then you should support affirmative action. What do you mean? Come on. Oh, now he's lying. Yeah, big boy, come back. You were calling me a liar, now you're muted. You're muted. You've left the app. Come on back. So do you think that discrimination should be legal?
You mute me.
I didn't mute you. I haven't muted you once. I haven't fucking touched you. You're leaving the app. You lied. You liar.
No, you lied.
No,
The
I haven't
ending of
fucking
affirmative
muted you. I
action
haven't
was-
muted you or
Was
touched you.
not underbody.
I haven't touched you once. Okay, here's
You
where
lied.
we're at.
Affirmative action
Here's
did
where
not
we're at.
end underbody.
Here's where we're at, man. I'm gonna help catch you up here, okay? Let me know when I got your ears. No. Come back to the stream, kid. Come on back. Put a bubble in the mouth. Let me catch your ears. I'll explain it to you like you're 5. Come back. Bro, if you keep on leaving, I'm just gonna kick you. You were actively off the app. I actively cannot hear you. You have 10 seconds to come back before I remove you from the live. There you go. All right. Now catch a bubble and open your ears. You ready?
Yeah.
Great. He left the app again. See you later. Jeez. Next. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now, yo. We got Brandon Walker loading up in the live. Hello, Brandon. You support Trump?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you MAGA?
Kind of, but I guess I'm in the middle. But I got a question for you.
Okay, real quick, KF, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you, KF. Let's show some love to KF down below, y'all. Let's show some love to KF down below. Let's get to 500 KFWs. Thank you. Thank you so much for the 50. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. W's for KF down below. Now take it away.
Do you support any of Trump's policies at all?
Yeah, I liked his policy. Covered under the Right to Try Act. I liked the policy to prevent AI deep fake corn. I liked the policy that he passed to expedite the approval of the vaccine.
Okay, I was just wondering. I like watching your videos too. I watch it all the time. I stalk your page all the time. Anyways, I like what you're doing.
Nice, man. Why do you support Trump?
I don't know.
Okay, well, keep stalking the page, buddy. I support it. Have a good one, Brandon. Moving on to the next guest. We're going to load that next guest up here. Hell yeah, stalk the page. I wish all Trump supporters would stalk my page. Who's that next guest? Carson is our next guest, frankly. Okay. All right. Carson didn't load in. What about Frankie? Yo, Arthur in the chat says, bro, let him speak. Arthur, you want to come up here and speak? What's up, Frankie? You support Trump?
No, bro. I just want to tell you that you're doing an amazing job. Keep
Hey, man.
going, bro.
I appreciate that.
I'm an immigrant.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I kicked you. I didn't know that you, I kicked you before you started speaking again. But just know that I really appreciate that, and that's very kind of you. What's up, Ben? You support Trump?
Dean hates.
Okay. Ben was invited up onto the live by Mod. Mod, it is not your fault. Don't worry about it. Moving on to Sophia. Here we go. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
That is a child. All right, everybody. Here's what we're going to do. For the last 10 minutes of the stream, we're going to do a Q&A. How about that? And in fact, it's going to be a Q&A through the guests. That sound fun? We'll take a question or two. So if you're a Trump supporter, hop out of that queue. Now, if you're not a Trump supporter, feel free to hop in that queue and ask a question. Yeah, we'll take a question or two. All right, hop in that queue if you want to ask a question. If you don't want to ask a question, meaning that you were planning to come up here and debate, leave that queue. And let's start loading people in. Who's going to be first? What about Reg? Let's get Reg up here. All right, everyone just give us a minute. We're doing a Q&A for the next 10 minutes. Why not? Might as well. Never done it before. Or I guess haven't done it for a long time. We'll load Rachel C up in here. Hi, Rachel.
Oh my good God. Hi. Oh, that was a bit excited. Sorry.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I've asked you a couple of times in a couple of donations. Have you thought about debating non-American Trump supporters? For the record, I am not. I will just say that really clearly. I'm not a supporter of his. Jesus Christ.
Well, I feel like the issue with debating non-American Trump supporters is that there is going to be a restriction on access to information. So I actually feel like non-American Trump supporters are going to be more insufferable and less knowledgeable than American Trump supporters. And I do understand that it is important to change the minds globally because like a Canadian or a British Trump supporter, for instance, can still have impact and harm on the people around them. But I just think the way I'd hopefully change their minds is by hopefully having them listen to the stream compared to coming up on it because they'd be more insufferable, less knowledgeable, and can't vote in America. So
I don't know. Some people are really insufferable that you come across, so you never know. We might not be as bad in some areas.
yeah, well, I appreciate you so much for coming up, Rachel. Thank you for the question. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
All right, let's go and move on to the next question. Once again, everybody, we're going to be spending the last 10 minutes or so of the stream just kind of doing a Q&A. You know, why not? Might as well. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while. Might as well do it now. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Oh, wait, sorry. Welcome in. Do you have a question? No, they left. Okay, go ahead and put, I have a question down below in the chat if you want to come up and ask. I'll pull you up here. Yo, Blake, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Appreciate you for that love, Blake. Let's go to get Junior up here as well. Thank you for the love, Blake. Marissa with a $10 saying, question, how do you feel about the gerrymandering and Callie's response? Gerrymandering bad, but Callie's response, good. Corey with the $5. Thank you so much for the love. Welcome in. Do you have a question?
Yeah, what's up? So funny question. When are you gonna debate Charlie Jerk?
Well, I actually talked about this today on the I've Had It podcast. It's going to be airing in a week, by the way. So that'll be fun. I don't know, because he's running, man. You know, there's a lot of information about that story that I haven't shared publicly. I shared a lot more of that publicly today. At the end of the day, I don't think it's ever going to happen because he doesn't want it to.
Yeah. For some reason he gets really under my skin, dude. But
you should.
You know, I've seen your content, man, and I want to say that, you know, like I like your content, man. You're pretty funny. I'll say that.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and thank you for the question. You have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, we're gonna move on to that next guest. Hell yeah. Everyone, just give us a minute here, y'all. Let me know in that chat if you have a question too. Maybe I'll let you skip that line. All right, moving on to Fori Mori. Here we go. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Oh, wait.
Hi
sorry.
there.
Sorry. Hi. Do you have a question? Sorry.
No worries. I do have a question. So I have been a Pete Buttigieg fan in the past. I'm not sure if you'd be able to look up much stuff about him. I support a lot of his policies. Unfortunately, recently, he's spoken about trans rights. And I just wanted to get your opinion a little bit. I know it's a little bit hard on TikTok to talk about it.
No, great question. So I was a really big fan of Pete Buttigieg forever. In fact, I even had a slated opportunity where he was going to come on my live. We were going to co-host. We were going to talk, and he was going to do some debates with me here, right? I've always been a really big fan of Buttigieg. But yeah, like a month and a half ago, he came out and he said some questionable things about trans rights. And then last week, you know, he was asked if he supports the existence of a Palestinian state, and then he started talking about Israel's right to self-defense. I think that it's really unfortunate to see somebody that is so intelligent kind of shill out for the institution. I know the only reason why he's doing it is to hopefully get the DNC's support for a potential run for the presidency in 2028. And I just wish that he wouldn't. I wish that he'd take a different approach. I wish that he'd be honest. I know that he's intelligent enough to reason himself to the conclusion that these things are wrong. But he's playing politics. He's playing optics. And unfortunately, I don't think that is the solution for the candidate that I want in 2028. And, you know, before the primaries, before the votes, before the original primary debates, you know, that's the time when I get to strongly and staunchly voice my opinion and try to advocate for perfection. And I want a candidate that doesn't resemble these things, and I'm going to continue to push for it. So, good question.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good one.
Also, I lived in Colorado. Go see you.
Dude, yeah, go Buffs. So real. Yo, Wick, appreciate you for the $25 over on YouTube Super Chat. Wick says, "Who's your favorite classical composer?" It kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in. More recently, it's been going back to Liszt. Big Liszt guy. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next guest for the next question. All right, we got who is next? Why not? Let's let everyone give us a moment. Trinity Campbell up here. Hey, what's up, Trinity? You sport? Oh, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. Hi, do you have a question?
Yes. When are you gonna run for president?
I think that you're underage, so I'm gonna kick you. I don't know if I ever will. It might be in the cards for me in the future. Probably not. I don't know if I could deal with it. I don't know if I could deal with it. Man, I don't know. I feel like something has to be a little bit wrong with you if you could deal with being the president. I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. You got to play the politics. You got to appeal to the interest groups. You got to find the money to fund the campaign, and I don't know. Oh, geez, just sounds very difficult, tiring. It sounds like you might have to cross some moral lines in the process. Welcome in, Marley. Do you support Trump? Sorry, bro. Sorry, I'm literally programmed. Hi. Do you have a question?
No, I completely get it. I do have a question. So I've heard you talk about not that much about the Israel-Palestine conflict lately. I feel like it's just been a lot about immigration and stuff, but I did have a question about your opinion on it. So I know that you support Palestine. I also think that what's going on is horrible and disgusting, and I support liberation and them to be freed from oppression and all that. Sorry, I'm talking fast. I'm kind of nervous, but I was just do you what's your ideal scenario? If you could make everybody agree with everything that you wanted to do and have your someone just said I'm a child. I'm an 05. I'm 19. I promise I'm not a kid. Yeah, so I just guess I want to know what's your ideal
if I was God and I could just choose whatever ideal outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, a single state, a multicultural democracy.
Okay, that's what I support as well, an integrated one-state solution.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. That was my question. Thank you.
Of course, you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just there's so much so that's if I could play God, that's what I want. But honestly, I'm not educated enough on to know what will actually happen. I wonder. I wonder what the most benevolent outcome that's realistically possible is. And I hope that it would be a single state multicultural democracy.
Hello?
Welcome in. Do you have a question?
I gotta be annoying. Is it a vape?
No, it's an anxiety pen. Okay, moving on. We got Tim really loaded up. Yo, Chad with a $5 saying grassroots donos like Bernie. Only if democracy survives Trump, Dean for POTUS. Bro, look at what happened to Bernie in 2016. Maybe things will be different and the institution will be fixed in another 20 years. But look at what happened when somebody tried to do it the right way. Welcome in. Do you have a question?
I do. What do you think about Israel talking about resettling Palestinians from Gaza and South Sudan?
Yeah, it's just ethnic cleansing. I think I obviously look very negatively on ethnic cleansing. The forceful resettlement of anybody from one area to another, A, is ethnic cleansing in accordance with the definition per Oxford language, and B, it's to what end do they want to resettle them for? So they could take their land. It's a violation of UN international law of every single sovereign person living on the Gaza Strip. So it's incredibly immoral, and I think that on its own is sufficient reason to break any and all allegiance and allyship with the country.
I think the other thing that I wanted to bring up was Indiana's governor just said that he thinks that interracial marriage should be left up to the states.
Yeah, it's just leaving human rights up to the states. We need to protect marriage, not only because of what it signifies socially, but also because there's around 3,000 individual rights that are gained by married couples. And by arguing that we should allow this to stay on the state level, etc., is basically saying that we should allow individual rights, liberties, and freedoms to stay on the state level. However, I don't think that will end up happening. I think that the 14th Amendment is clear. Equal protections are clear. That was used in landmark SCOTUS cases to federally legalize gay marriage, federally legalize interracial marriage, and I don't think that's going to be going anywhere, and else we have a new interpretation of the 14th from SCOTUS, and I just simply don't think that they're going to make it.
Well, okay, thank you.
Of course, you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Yo, Catherine with the $10 over on Venmo saying Kamala 2028. Thank you for keeping me sane. So I actually think the two most likely outcomes, just talking in reality, is either going to be Harris or Newsom. I think that Harris and Newsom are going to end up butting heads for the primary ticket. Yo, Charlotte, thank you for the 50 cents. Hannah with the $15 over on PayPal. Hannah says, Dean, I'll give you $30 if you critique my art on my page, lol. Love you. Link me your page. I'll take a look. Thank you for the 15. As well as Mark, thank you for the 17, and Eduardo, thank you for the 20. Show some love to Mark and Eduardo down below, and I read both of y'all comments. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's go and move on to the next guest. We probably have time for one or two more, y'all. We probably have time for one or two more. So let's see who's next. We got Ryan loading up in. What's up, Ryan? You got a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask. I know, when you have people come on, it's very like one side or the other. My question to you is, how do you feel about complacency on the Democratic side? Do you feel like we're just so far gone, or do you think there's still hope, and where do you find it?
Are you talking about individuals that are just like okay with that, with whatever the Dems do?
No, I mean in the sense of like the Dems actually being like a major force to like drive liberal and leftist views and like actually protect people in the grand scheme of things, or are they just more complacent in being popular, getting their paycheck, and just doing whatever?
Yeah, I think it's clear that the Dems are complacent. I mean, let's face the facts, man. There's been like what, one or two Democratic administrations since the last time we raised the federal minimum wage, and they haven't done anything about it. But yet, for like whatever reason, they want to continue to say that we should just to get popular support. I mean, I think it's clear that the Democrats don't fight hard enough, and I also think the reason why that is clear is because at the end of the day, they're always better than the right. Like 9 out of 10 times they're the preferable option, so they're going to get my vote, they're going to get the votes of others, and that has made them complacent and not being the best. And I wish that there's change. I wish that there's a way to advocate for this change on a broader scale. I wish that more people were active in like the political offseason as well. Because like when it comes to like federal elections and like leftists don't vote because of the complacency in the Democratic Party, that's just like objectively a bad decision that shouldn't be made. And so the Democrat Party knows that, so then they'll run bad candidates, and they'll get bad candidates on that ultimate general ticket. And then, everybody has the moral right to then turn around and shit on the leftists that never vote for them because they're not fulfilling what should be fulfilled. Right. So I'd say that people's priorities need to be reorganized away from like abstaining from the vote until we get a good candidate to actively advocating for better candidates in the first place in the primaries. And I think if people could get better at that instead of abstaining from voting when push comes to shove, we could actually see a lot of progressive change within the Dems. And I think it's needed, man. I want a better Democratic Party for everybody. I'm not like an institutional shill, no matter how many times leftists want to scream that on Twitter, Good question.
You get one more or no?
Take it away. Why not?
Third party reachable, I think, for more of like the youthful leftist side of things. People that don't feel like they align one way or another because they just don't feel like people are being heard or like fought for in their rights.
Well, as long as it's not Jill Stein, I could hold a preferable view. But at the end of the day, I don't think that third-party candidates are viable until we have ranked choice voting in all 50 states.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you for the questions. All right, we're going to take one more. We're going to take one more question. One more question here, chat. Thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate that so very, very much. As well as Anna, thank you for the $10. Saying thoughts on Trump trying to change to the Smithsonian Museum exhibits to look more favorable upon him. Authoritarian 101. All right, moving on to our last question of the night. I know that there's a lot of people that want to get in here and ask a question. This is the last question of the night, everybody. And we'll do this more often. This has been fun. Welcome in. Do you have a question?
Hi,
Do you have a question?
Yes. My question is, will you be willing to please check out my boyfriend's website? He has his own clothing brand, and he would love, love, love to design you merch.
Well, I'm not going to allow you to say it on live, but you can send it to me over in IG DMs. I'll check it out. But I will say, W girlfriend. All right? We'll take one more. It's fine. We'll take one more. Nah, dude, W girlfriend. All right. See it from her perspective. W girlfriend. Feel free to DM it to me. We'll get one last guest up here.
You don't need to correct her with everything. A. B.
She's preoccupied. All right. Who will the last guest be? Brandon. We'll get Brandon up here. What's up, Brandon? You got a question?
Hello.
Hi, Brandon. I can't hear you if you're on pause.
Sorry, I was trying to disconnect my Bluetooth. I know you have problems with that.
No worries.
No worries. Was that?
I said no worries.
Oh, wait, thanks. So I have a question about Texas. I live in Texas. I'm a Texas constituent, and I wanted to know your thoughts about the Democrats leaving the state to break quorum about the redistricting.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen the headlines. I've done a little bit of research. I haven't been keeping too close of an eye on that. They ultimately like flood the state to like prevent the vote by not having a quorum, right? Is that what happened?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, that is what happened. Luckily, they did break quorum, so they did not have the vote. And I think Friday they are adjourning the actual special session that Greg Abbott imposed.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thoughts in a nutshell. It is the first time in a long time I've seen Democrats do something better than writing a strongly worded letter, and I support it 110%. I love that the Dems are now waking up to the idea that you got to fight fire with fire. You know, we got to get down and dirty if we want to see the world shift in the direction we want it to. You know, we can't play. I don't know if anybody in here has seen like the Good Place TV show on Netflix, for instance. You know, we can't be the guys from the Good Place if we want to be able to play with the guys from the Bad Place. That's a really good analogy, and we got to get a little bit down and dirty. So I like that the Dems broke quorum, and as I've said before, there's a couple things about Newsom that I don't like. But I will say his response of redistricting California and like giving Donald Trump a couple days to respond and making his final threat and like mimicking him on Twitter was fucking fantastic. So great. I love to see it. That is what the Democrats need to be doing. I love it so much. No more strongly worded letters and more goddamn action. Good question, man. I hope you have a good rest of your day. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a great one. Now, chat, it is 4. I actually have to hop off so I could go hit the gym before I have a meeting later this evening. And then I'm going to go watch Nobody 2. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. But I'm thinking that we do this more frequently. This has actually been a whole lot of fun. This has been a whole lot of fun. I think that we're going to start doing this significantly more. You know, it's also kind of nice to have people up here that don't want to just rip my esophagus out. So, you know.